Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of it's the thing that we do on the Tuesdays.
It's the Sour Graps Variety Hour, brought to you by Fightful. This is your NXT post show for Tuesday, December 27th. Get in those super chats. Get in those humper chats at humperchats.com. What the heck is a humper chat, Alex?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It functions just like a super chat, but we get to keep more of the money. Also, you can support us on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming and show us your biddies. Send us your bits. We appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Do you want to let the people know the terrible news? Linda's missing. Linda is missing.
Listen, they'll turn up, but currently right now I can't find the Linda glasses, so they'll turn up. They're in the house somewhere.
Linda is missing. She was last seen at Aqua Size.
She's around. You could still hear her, but there won't be the particular visual aid. So I it's
it's just it's a lot to take that on, and to have no more Santa gear during the it's just so hot for 1 week.
The decoration's still here.
But now Christmas is past, and there's no Linda. Oh my God, maybe she's at the North Pole. Is Santa husband number 9?
This is a crisis. Why are you calm? Listen, we all grieve in different ways. So,
I will remember Linda. Yeah.
Will you remember me?
Do.
She left with Santa, possibly.
I know.
Yeah, that was
possible. I think husband number 9 might be a little magical. You know why else I'm sad, Alex?
What's that?
WWE taped programming isn't great.
No.
But I thought the main event was really good tonight. And I'm intrigued by this Drew Gulak situation.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know, man. It's a weird.
I don't know, man.
Tuesdays are weird, I don't know what to say about them. They're figuring out what they're gonna do. Grayson Waller is the president of the tourism board of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, I guess. There's other things, but people are sending in their super chats and talking to us. Paul Elizabeth says best wishes for 2023 to the SGS, and particularly the sisters, the council, Alpha Bill, Sir JW of Elizabeth, and our fearless leaders, Team KLX. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tom LaValle says, happy at Tuesday SGS. I'm in Buffalo and can say the stream was nuts. I'm on the 6th floor and couldn't see across the street for 2 days. Fun though. What? What's Kate? We lost Kate. No, Kate. No, not Linda and Sheila. She now Sheila's gone too. This is oh, here you go. Is Sheila gone too? Is the question, and apparently the answer is no. Oh, there she is. She switched cameras.
Oh my God, I'm back. No, sorry, so I had the YouTube instance pulled out from when I tweeted the link out before,
and
it started playing at the same time as our recording instance, and my monitor went kerflooey. It was a whole thing, but
that's so terrible.
I've survived.
Tom Valley, Buffalo was crazy. Our people like got stuck in their cars and died. Like it's horrible. We listen. So when we moved into this new house, we were like, well, we should probably like insulate the garage because right now it's like just plywood and some siding on the outside, but there's nothing inside to protect against the elements. And when it gets down to like negative something outside, it turns out that your trusty garage fridge becomes a trusty garage freezer. And so everything we had in the fridge in the garage froze solid. And it turns out you can't do that with certain sodas or they explode and freeze immediately. And so as soon as my garage thaws, I'm gonna have to completely clean out my garage fridge. So nobody died, which is I'm grateful for that. But I'm dealing with my own crisis, and it's really terrible. Everyone's man, it's awful.
I grew up in upstate New York, so I'm like, I didn't realize till I moved to Jersey, which is not that far from upstate New York. It's like 3 hours. How like it's not normal to like, oh yeah, of course my car didn't start because the battery was so cold. Or like, oh yeah, you don't know anybody whose locks were frozen solid. They couldn't get in their car because their locks were frozen. You don't carry lock spray with you, like as a thing. Like I knew people in school that just did that. So this is bikini weather, you pansies. Suck it up. No, it's not. It's very serious.
And it's very serious.
It's
very
rough,
serious.
but it's not like as jolting to me as it was to a lot of people. I grew up in the town of Binghamton, New York, which was very, very cold.
Indeed.
And there's a reason I left. That was
Caden Cease says, I have returned to the sour zone. The Cease triplets will win the AEW Trios titles in 2023. It is our destiny. And then Caden also says, hold on, wait. Sorry if I made you mad the other day, Alex. Listen. Somebody has to put a stop to this whole Dom Mysterio and Rhea Ripley showing up to Rey Mysterio's house and putting on staged skits that have the same acting ability as like my kindergartner's like Christmas pageant. Like, no, stop doing this. No more of it. I can't watch anymore. And then Caden's like, I liked it. And I'm like, okay, listen, fine. It's good for you. Good for you liked it. And
I also think it's adorable that Kaden acts like it takes a lot to make you mad.
No, listen.
Like, have you watched the show, man? Everyone's allowed to like whatever they like, but I'm allowed to hate whatever I hate, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Hey, so this is okay. Like, this isn't helping.
No,
this isn't help your cause.
No,
it made my mom laugh.
No,
so. That is a good segue into one thing that I did want to talk about with NXT tonight, which is Infomercial City, Alex.
I'd have to go back and find out when I started like really noticing the prevalence of infomercial style ads. Like it is like they recognized at some point, oh no, we're only getting people in their 60s watching this. So let's just only sell to those advertisers, and the people in the it's like somebody said it's like they're at their grandparents' house and the 700 Club is on TV. It's the same group of people who watch NXT that watch the Pat Robertson's The 700 Club, as evidenced by the advertisers buying spot like the idea of, are you afraid of the dark and things that might be in the dark? We've invented lights. Call toll free and buy lights. And I'm like, and it took them
just $19.95 for 4 installments plus shipping and handling. You can have lights.
They make sure and put the website on the bottom of the screen for people who were born post 1960, but they also say out loud during the commercials, call toll free. And I'm like, no one is calling anything toll free. Like, I'm not calling anybody. I won't call my brother. I'll just send him a text. Hey bro, how's it going? Merry Christmas. I haven't heard the voice of my own brother and I don't know how long, because all we do is text. How I call on somebody to order lights because I'm scared of raccoons. What is going on in these commercials?
So they're pretty great, and because that's like where the NXT sketch level is. Like, it feels like a very fluid in and out of NXT programming. Yeah. But they literally had the like cut pennies with a knife guy. Like,
they do. Like, do you want to cut things with knives? Here are knives that cut things. Call toll free.
Of all the weeks for us not to have Linder, I'm so sad because she would just love these infomercials.
Listen, I can still do the voice, but apparently I'm not allowed to because I don't have the glasses, right? Is that the deal?
Not unless Linda can hack.
I mean, oh, that's funny. Here we go. Paul Elizabeth says tonight's pun topic: ads for old people. I don't know how we. Yeah, I mean, not sure. Let's see how many we get. Infomercial type puns. I don't know.
What would be your NXT infomercial? I think is the way to go, right?
I suppose, yeah. Well, like, yeah. Do you hate Australia? Did your rage about Australia cause you to throw a perfectly good TV at a set of lockers? Buy anti-Australia TVs. Call toll free. Yeah, it's bad. There you go.
Did you take a lean out on someone's bar?
And stupidly agree to a match where if you lost the match, no, it's bad.
Oh my goodness.
There's got to be a better way. Now those are my favorites. There got to be a better ways are my favorites. Luis Polito has a good point. Angie with the Kenta Kobashi slap on Rhea, though. That's true.
And I did also pop for Ray wearing his mask at the dinner table. That's pretty great.
At all times. He must wear it at all times. Tom O'Valley says, head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apparently directly to the forehead. Listen, somebody applied something directly to right underneath J.D. McDonough's eye. Because that dude had a mouse the size of a rodent's of unusual size just growing out of that man. I don't know what happened to it. He got punched in the face for shoots. Mr. Showtime says 1-900 Who train. Anyway, that's good. Julius Creed defeated JD McDonough. Good.
Yes.
They did the weird thing where like, hey, anyway, banter about Christmas. Hey, now we're done with this. I'm going to talk directly to the camera. I'm going to beat JD McDonough. Let's go to the ring. And it's like, that never works, but even less so when it's like a pair of dudes who aren't necessarily great at talking yet.
And are great in the ring. Like,
yeah, but like let Julius Creed, give him a manager and let him set him loose on the world. He's amazing.
Oh, could you imagine Julius Creed with a manager?
I don't know.
If only at some point we had seen Julius Creed with a manager.
Oh,
gosh, if only there had been a manager in NXT that was managing Julius Creed and maybe a few other dudes.
Yeah. But like, hey man, can you believe Christmas? I know, right? Boy, that green bean casserole. Hey, shut up about Christmas. It was the most, you know what it was? It was one of those like fifth period like assemblies where two people, ostensibly kids, you know, like we're coming like, hey, anybody, hey, did you try drugs? No, I said no. That's right, and you too can say no to drugs. That's basically what it was. It was
a dare sketch.
It was.
But you know what? I didn't do drugs, so who's to say?
Well, there you go. It's true.
I didn't do drugs during the segment. Maybe I should have.
I've never wanted to do drugs in my life more than at an anti-drug assembly. Like I was like, if these people are telling me I shouldn't, then maybe I should. That's
I don't want to end up like these guys who go to high school.
No, these dudes, straight-laced nerds. No, I don't want to do that. Ricardo the ODV says Linder got run over by a reindeer walking home from Meet Normus's house Christmas Eve.
Oh my goodness.
It's possible. Stokely would have, if he was managing, Lean Loaf, as Luis calls him.
Lean Loaf is so good.
If he was managing Julius Creed, he would have absolutely called JD McDonough big-headed raggedy bitch.
Oh yeah, you big-headed raggedy bitch.
Yep, the Diamond Mine after school special. It's true.
That is what it feels like.
I'm falling and I almost get up. That's good. That's good. Also, do you what? Does your what? Are you what? Also,
call 1-800 what?
Yeah, this is good. Hey, also, on the Friday show, I got sent a sour chat from Silver Apocalypse, so I don't even know if he watches this one, but they sent a whole bunch of Christmas puns. And before we get them out of the way, I thought I'd read them now because I promised I would. Okay. Merry Funk.
That's a good one.
The Yuletide Bucks. Miracle on 34th Street.
And on that?
The Silver Bella twins or the Jingle Bella twins.
Ooh!
I can't believe we hadn't got it. We didn't get Jingle Bellas.
That's surprising, yeah.
That's very odd. Adam Cole in your stocking. We got that one. Degeneration Xmas.
Oh, very good.
Very good. Very good. Ravishing Rick Scrooge. Ladies, feast your eyes on these three spirits. And Epiphany Stratton.
Oh, okay. Very good.
It says the Silver Apocalypse says Merry Xmas to you, Alex and Kate, and all of the Fightful Faithful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So
Julius Creed and JD McDonough.
Yeah, they had a match.
They did. It was really good.
It was good. It was really good. Did Julius used to pull down the straps for the unnecessary clothesline? I feel like
I think he's done it before. Yeah, I don't think it's like
but he doesn't have straps.
Time.
But he doesn't have straps anymore.
Oh,
he's just wrestling in boxer briefs. And I'm like, you look great, dude, but I missed the straps because then you could do the straps, the 1 and then 2 and then the unnecessary clothesline to finish it off. Yeah, like it takes a little stank off the clothesline if you don't pull the straps down first. That's all I'm saying. You know.
I mean, as you said, it's an unnecessary clothesline. So I don't know if we need to hype it up necessarily.
I suppose.
But I do. It does make me like a little bit worried for Brutus because we've seen a lot of Julius in singles action. I don't have complaints about that. I do like them as a tag duo. They don't often do what they do with the New Day, where everybody's allowed to have tag careers, solo careers in the same thing. I think it would be something that's really beneficial here. I could see them doing it a little more with the Street Profits because I think there's a Montez solo run in the future, but it doesn't have to be like, and the Street Profits broke up. Like people can just pursue different avenues under the same banner. So I hope they go that direction because I also do really like the way they complement each other. But Julius Creed, man, kid's a star. Like he's really so good in the ring. And JD McDonough's no slouch either. This was perfectly good.
It is. And they're actual brothers and it's really early in their development still. So the idea of like, we made you guys a tag team. Just kidding. One of you guys is obviously the breakout star. We're going to do that now and not wait for 4 more years while we season you guys and also introduce you to the main roster as a team and let them realize how good you both are, but realize that one of you probably is a little better than the other one. And then they're going to start pulling for that one person to break away. We're going to pull the trigger on that at some point. We already know that Brutus is going to be the one to stab Julius in the back. That's why we named them that. So I think that that they're probably working a little too fast at this. Like I would think, but the other thing is like nothing's guaranteed, man. Like you look at like Cash Wheeler sent out a retweeted somebody's compilation of Revival versus American Alpha from from NXT Takeover, and his thing was like, man, if I could do wrestle one team for my entire career, be American Alpha, hundreds and hundreds of matches. It never felt like a slog. Like we always found new things to do. Those guys were so good. I really wish we could do it again. And like, there was no Big E moment for Jason Jordan. Like his neck was fucked, and then that was it. It wasn't like a thing like, oh, we saw this thing happen in this match. It was just like, hey, my neck's a little weird. Oh, hey, yeah, you can't wrestle anymore. It's a good thing you brought it to us now because you could have like crippled yourself. And that sucks. But like, there's no way a week before they were like, you can't wrestle anymore. That anybody knew that he couldn't wrestle anymore. And that's the thing, is nothing is guaranteed. So while I would say I would like a very slow burn on this whole Creed's story, bring them to the main roster, let them feud for the tag titles, give them a few years of seasoning. We don't know what's going on. So might as well strike while that iron is hot, and the iron doesn't get much more hot than Julius Creed right now.
Yeah, there's also, and I don't mean to say this like Brutus isn't ready, because I think like Julius is just ahead of him, but it's not like Brutus is behind in any way, like I don't think it's a lack of skill on Brutus's part. It's just that Julius is like, he just can do stuff that we haven't seen people be able to do in a really, really, really long time. But I think there could be something fun if they're built into, like, it just screams like, pair this kid with Paul Heyman to me and let him unleash this guy. Unleash him. But anyway, the opening match I thought was really, really strong. JD McDonough is very good in the ring. Julius Creed is it, man. He's the total package in that way. But again, we knew what this episode of NXT was going to be, and it was going to be not a ton of meaningful matches and some filler. This was a pretty good, not so meaningful match, but had a story to it. So I'll take it. That's fine. Perfectly fine opener.
Creed getting the win is good. McDonough looks great and putting over the kid. We'll see where everybody goes from here. Orion Ben 666 says, lonely? Call 1-800 Attraction. BlueChew.
Wait, what was that?
1-800 Attraction. BlueChew.
Okay, now take that read and compare it to this.
Is your penis soft? Is it difficult to get hard? Do you have issues with sexual performance? Do you have issues with sexual confidence? BlueChew.com, code FIGHTFUL, gives you your first shipment of BlueChew for free. It will help you get a harder, stronger erection. It will make you more confident in your sexual performance. You take an online questionnaire. You work with an online physician. You don't wait in line at the pharmacy. You don't wait in line at the doctor's office. It's prepared and shipped direct in a discreet package. That way, nobody knows that you are getting BlueChew in order to make your penis erect. BlueChew and the code FIGHTFUL gets you your first shipment free if you want an erect penis. I'm going to end the ad now.
I
Oh
mean,
boy, yeah, I'll take the infomercial version. I would take the infomercial version over that
Right.
any day.
Mr. Showtime says the New Age attorneys at law. Have you been injured in a famous attack? Don't call us because we probably did it. We're the New Age attorneys at law. I like Orion Bands. I don't think he actually finished it when he sent it in, but I love it. Can't sleep? The Wendy Chu Von Wagner system will put you to sleep immediately. Just call the toll free. It's 1-800 Von Wagner.
Burn well.
Mm-hmm.
And you just fall asleep right away.
That's good.
I think I called him Human Ambien once, and
yeah. Tony D gets interviewed or whatever before his match. Hey, the Dijak not gonna get involved. Stacks took care of him. Didn't you tell me you took care of that thing? Did you take care of that thing that I told you to take care of? Yeah, boss, I took care of it. Of course I did. That's what I did. You told me to take care of it, and I took care of it. Hey, thank you for taking care of that thing I told you to take care of. So tonight we're gonna beat up Wes Lee, no problems from the Dijaks. That's for sure. That sure ain't gonna come back to haunt me. No, ma'am. All right.
Not in professional wrestling. No way, sir.
No, sir. Yeah, anyway, so that's there you go. Okay, so finally. It appears that next week is the end of Alba Fyre and NXT. Let's hope, and she gets to go to the main roster and do some good stuff. Because this ain't it. She cuts a promo on Isla Dawn and wants an anything goes match for next week. And Isla Dawn says, hey, Alba Fyre, you're evil. I'm gonna bring it out of you. Look, I've got powder. I'm gonna blow this powder in your eyes. I'm a witch. Look how scary I am. And yeah, so we're getting an Extreme Resolutions match next week on what should be New Year's Evil, because it's the 3rd of January. It said they're pushing that back to January 10th, and next week we're gonna get the Extreme Resolutions match.
That's so boring to call it an Extreme Resolutions match. But hey, if you don't have an infomercial, I would like to know what you think Isla Dawn's main roster name would be, like, adjacent to Bray Wyatt, because clearly, like, if there's Sister Abigail, there's got to be like Cousin Isla, right? Like, she just seems like so directly an offshoot. And I'm also like, why aren't you in Joe Gacy's weird thing? I guess they're not supernatural. That's the part I guess we kind of have to keep going back to, is they're not actually supernatural. They're just creepy and weird and have bad context. So I guess Isla Dawn doesn't fit in there, but she definitely feels like Bray Wyatt adjacent. So if you have Sister Abigail, who is Isla Dawn, like second cousin Dawn.
Yep. Paco Taco a la Rocco says, I turned on NXT fairly late tonight, heard them talking about some Extreme Resolutions match, and it immediately turned the TV back off. Is Vince Russo booking this shit these days? They can't stop themselves from giving a hardcore match a stupid name. They can't. It's a hardcore match. Weapons are legal. It's an Extreme Rules match, but now it's an Extreme Resolutions match because it takes place 3 days after New Year's Eve, and that's it. They can't stop themselves. Just call it a hardcore match. That's what it is.
It's just resolution makes it sound so uncool. Because I get it, like, they're resolving issues, and resolutions are important in wrestling. But I'm like, Don't you tune in for the exact? Like, don't you tune in for the conflict part of it?
Yeah.
like, like the resolution happens at the end.
Mm-hmm. Meet Normus says, "Hey Ricardo, don't put my business out there. Linda and I would appreciate some privacy during the holidays. Stay oozy." So he's not denying it.
Oh my gosh! Did Linda leave her glasses at Meet Normus's place?
She left them on the nightstand. It's tough. It's tough.
Well, maybe we can talk to her now that we figured it out.
I don't know. It's possible. Hold on. Listen. It's very difficult for me to see. But listen. I'm just trying to find the bus stop. Meet Normus. I love, but he wouldn't even give me cab fare. Fantastic lay. But I won't even give me cab fare. So I'm just walking around here trying to find a bus stop, and I don't have my glasses. Sorry. Is that all right? Too much? Too much.
You heard it here first, folks. Call 1-800 Meet Normus for a fantastic. Anyway, the show.
So anyway, yeah. So there's that. The Schism kind of promo. I mean, did they? Whatever. I'm so done with the Schism, with Schism, with Wendy Chu defeated Cora Jade. Not how I thought it would turn out.
Yeah. Good match though.
Yeah, good. Wendy Chu won.
Saw some good in ring too, because Fallon and Kiana was good, and the opener was good, and the main was great. So we did get a lot of really good in ring tonight. But I was surprised by the booking of this. I'm guessing it's not over. I can't imagine Wendy Chu ends up upside right on this, unless I can't imagine they're calling Cora Jade up already or anything, right? That would be too soon.
No. Meet Normus says, "My phone died. Could call you the Uber, Linder." Was very funny. So Wendy Chu, she defeats Cora Jade with her like version of a Vader bomb that she does. This is the thing about tonight. The commentary was uniformly terrible. Not just Booker T. Vic Joseph is aiding and abetting all of Booker T's war crimes right now. But also, he reduced Wendy Chu to basically nothing. Do it! Remember all those terrible mean girls who said mean things about you. Hit your Vader bomb on her right now to take revenge on all those who made fun of you when you were a child. Oh, good for you, Wendy Chu. Why are we doing it? Why is this the reason for it? Can't she hate Cora Jade because Cora Jade threw a drink in her face? She doesn't have to. She's traumatized by remembering some bad shit to happen to her when she was 8. And by securing this victory over Cora Jade, it means none of that stuff happened. Is basically what Vic Joseph said. And I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
No, it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because I appreciate that they made an effort to try and like have her extremely weird character grounded in something. And she particularly does a fantastic job with that stuff. So I kind of like that. But the spoon feeding on commentary was heavy-handed to say the least.
The idea of, do you know why I always wear pajamas? It's because I'm mentally arrested in the moment when at a sleepover some girls were mean to me. So therefore, now as an adult, I can only wear pajamas. I don't even know where to begin with how stupid that is. But that's what they've decided to do.
A therapist would probably be a good start.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a great wrestler, man. I know you guys are Team Dragon Chew. I'm Team Karen Q. I just wish they would let her reach her ceiling.
I'm very upset that we didn't get either of those things. Like being Wendy Chu, who gets revenge on girls who, not this girl, a different girl. If it came out like it was like, actually, Wendy Chu and Cora Jade go way back. They were actually classmates or whatever. They're not remotely the same age. But like, if she was getting revenge on her for this years later, maybe you could draw that conclusion. But it is so dumb. I love Ali says, please tell me you're lying. This is Sands of Blind moment. No, it's not.
No, it's very real.
We could legitimately lie to everybody and say that, you know. Anyway.
Oh, if there was ever a wrestling show to do a Sands of Blind with, it's this one. Because you just don't know what's up and what's down. But the match is good. I'm very surprised Wendy won.
Tony D's protection hotline. 1-900, forget about it.
I don't know if that gets advertised so blatantly, you know?
No.
You know?
Ricardo the ODV says word life alert. I saw this particular commercial for old people twice tonight. Hey, tell me about this life insurance plan. Guy I'm running into at the grocery store. Don't I recognize you from all of those commercials where you tell me about the life insurance plan? Could you tell it to me and all of us? We are so interested in this $9.95 life insurance plan. Hey, me, I'm walking up into this shot. Could you tell me more about this popular $9.95 life insurance plan?
From Colonial Penn.
From Colonial Penn. Ah, yes, that
I
is
figured it out.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish is back.
Ah, that must be it. Yeah.
He is from Colonial Time.
Word Life Alert is really good.
Word Life Alert is great.
Word Life Alert.
But I love this. I thought Wendy and Cora worked really well together.
Yeah.
Heel Cora doesn't work a ton for me. But like in ring, this was definitely something that was a better match of hers. Right. I think that's something that Wendy Chu's really good at. Like she tends to pull really great. I thought when Mandy Rose was around, like one of her better title defenses was against her. Like she's really, really good at showcasing her opponent to look really strong, and Cora looked good in this.
Yep. Nicholas Starhart says, do you like colorful jackets but don't have the time to buy them? Then go to jackettime.com. Use the code BlueChew to get 50% off your first purchase. Seriously, though,
jackettime.com. JACK. We're gonna let you guess.
Yep. Igamanjiro, he says, seriously though, Igamanjiro had a banger no ring match in DDT at a water park. WWE, please use him better. He cut a promo about how he is. He says I listen. I don't, because it would feed into all of the things that I hate about how they use Ikemenjiro. But I do, because it would have been hilarious if he has said, jacket is most important to me. I love jacket. Like if he had just been like the most ridiculous, like bare bones, terrible broken English, but just talking about how much he loves jacket. I love jacket. And then we could, just not have the subtitles and we could just experience, like, are you trying to say you love jacking it? Because that's a very different thing than loving an item of clothing. But, yeah.
I wish it was like the gimmick was on the line, and that way when he lost, he would get to go back to being Ikemenjiro. But, we got to see our favorite star in action tonight, which was the most important part. As you guys know, Scripps will be fighting Roxanne Perez at Vengeance Day, which was something he stopped by last week to tell us. It's true. He also told us about Round Mars and what a conspiracy that was, as well as Vicinity 62. So, love Scripps. We appreciate all of his hard work this year. I think he's home for the holiday, so I don't think we'll be hearing from him tonight. But
probably not.
Yeah. But would love to see Ikemenjiro used better. World-class performer. We've talked about his previous work in Japan. So we'll see. It's just weird. Like if Alba Fyre is going up and say there's call-ups between now and Rumble, it's just like I don't know what people's roles are right now. Like if you're not going to call them up, and I don't really know what happened with like the UK merger. Are there people that are going to come to American television, or are they going to wait for the relaunch of Europe? Like, it's a very, very odd time because there are people who have definitely developed beyond developmental, right? But I think there's people that they're never going to use on the main roster. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know about any of. I mean, listen, we thought that Cameron Grimes would have been up a long time ago. He had his send-off match months ago at this point. I don't know what they're, they already have too many people on the main roster at this point as well. It's kind of weird. Like you could figure out ways of like, slotting in new people, but they've got a bunch of people they don't use or use poorly at the same time.
Well, that's the real question is efficiency and how and who they use.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they have too many people. I think that they're not using people properly, probably.
I like this one. Henry T. Casey says, hi there. Blink 182 here for Ikemen Jiro, whose next music is off our album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
That's very, very good.
Yeah, and you hate Blink 182, so there you go.
I do, but that's an undeniably great.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Jade Pringle says, better late than never. Stuck doing holiday junk with family. They the twos for real. I have been in the Xmas cheer. Much love to the SGS. All the ones. Y'all the ones. We the ones.
I'm going to assume he's talking about his other family and not
us. No.
The adopted family of
right, exactly.
Of the Elizabeth clan.
So Ikemen Jiro comes out for his match. He's not wearing a jacket because remember, Scripps stole it. And he's waiting for Scripps. The Scripps music plays, and then Scripps like just jumps into the ring via a trampoline. He's like, "Ha! You didn't see me over here jumping off a trampoline, but here I am. I'm Scripps." And I don't know what they're doing with Scripps, man. I want to believe Jessie that it's actually him.
I mean, we do know what they're doing with Scripps, like better than anybody. So I don't know what you mean. Like, what are they doing with Scripps? We know.
If it's would it be any worse than what they're doing with Scripps when it's Reggie? Honestly, the mask and the flippies for no reason, and I don't know.
Oh, like would present day Jessie the Body Ventura be worse than Costco Sin Cara?
No, if you put present day Jessie the Body Ventura in the same outfit, obviously tailored to his measurements, and had him go out there with the mask and everything and wrestle matches, would it be worse than what they're doing with it as Reggie? That's what I'd like to know.
I genuinely don't know. Would he get to talk about conspiracy theories?
I mean, I don't know. Would they interview him? Nobody's put a mic in front of Scripps yet. He did all those weird, little...
What if Jessie's hackings? Take it back to the beginning of the Scripps gimmicks. What if the things that he hacked in with were conspiracy theories?
Oh,
now I'm in.
That would have been good. That would have been good, but we don't even know.
Oh my gosh.
Is it still me? It doesn't look like the thing that I put. Did somebody change my moppelganger?
You look like, I don't know, like maybe New Year, New You or something.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. Hey everybody, how's it going?
We're doing well, Scripps. We didn't know if we would hear from you, it being the holiday at all. How are you?
Sorry, I got all the grandkids. I had to finally put them all to bed, and they got their sugar plums dancing in there, whatever. And so now I'm here to talk about my match tonight when I beat up that sports jacket loving son of a gun.
Please be careful of your language. Son of a gun is pretty
That's right.
strong. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just be respectful.
It's been a hell of a few days. I'm telling you.
No,
like, it does
I understand.
nonstop. Yep. Yeah.
We have so many questions, as I'm sure all of the SGS does. Feel free to get into your super chats and humper chats if you have a question for Scripps. But
okay, that's fine.
We'll start with like how was your holiday?
Terrible. I mean, listen, my grandkids are all terrors, every last one of them. I've been playing Candyland with 4 of them from the last 6 hours. Because none of them know how to work the little spinner deal, and so we're just standing on our same and my wife is just like, you gotta play with them. They asked you to play. They're your grandkids. I don't even know all their names at this point. There's so many of them anyway.
I'm sorry to hear that. I guess not everybody can.
Of course, I actually wrestled. Scripps wrestled tonight. That's me, Jessie the Body Ventura, as Scripps, but it's not Reggie. Everyone thinks it's Reggie. It's me. Keep up.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody, I guess, like when they're playing with youngins can be like a Ricky Rainbow situation. So I understand that the numbers game is stacked against you, but I'm so sorry it was a stressful holiday. This was a taped episode. Are you staying, are you in the ring, or are you laying low and just resting during this time before you get back in the ring?
Oh, I am sore. I am not built to do all these flippy dips. I mean, at the time, like that Jiro guy, he's tiny, but he's got a very hard collarbone. So when I did my front flip there and landed with my groin in his face, man, that hurt. That hurt my sacroiliac. I gotta go see my chiropractor here. I got an appointment tomorrow. He's going to work me over and see if I can start moving again, because I'm basically in soft traction at this point.
I believe it. Well, it's a late career move to go from boas to moonsaults. So right. we have a lot of respect for you here at the SJS. Mm-hmm. Did you get to keep the jacket?
Yeah, I got to keep it. I mean, like, listen, you keep it they give you a replica, like when you win a title. They give you a replica, and so I got a replica of the jacket. It doesn't even fit, honestly. That guy's like a size small in children's, so it's difficult. I think I might go ahead and take this replica jacket and fashion it into another nice boa.
I was just about to ask. It might serve as a nice boa if you can't wear it directly, and I think it will look really good with the rest of your new look, Jessie.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I just want to say hello to the NWA Twitter account, and if you need somebody to come in and I think I might be the only guy willing to do it at this point. If you need somebody to come in and put over Tyrus, I'm your man, as long as you're paying.
I had a little bit of a back and forth with the NWA Twitter.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not right. Hey, listen, Caden, let's stop. I'm really gullible here, so I'll believe anything.
You never know, actually. I don't know. Here's a good question. Do you think there's any conspiracy theories going around the NWA?
Well, listen, here's one. The NWA, it doesn't stand for the National Wrestling Alliance. It stands for something else that I've been told I'm not allowed to say, but it was that group with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and the Eazy-E. And it's a very different thing entirely, but you're not allowed to say it.
No, of course that makes sense, and I encourage you to refrain from saying it as well.
Lord Kev says, yes, the good old groin salt for the win, baby. Yeah, it's a flippity do. We're trying to figure out a good name for it. Groin salt's as good as any, so.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I
appreciate it. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh,
gazillion beers. I'll tell you, I wish I was drinking a gazillion beers right now, but it might help with all. I'm so sore from that match, and also my damn grandkids have been playing horsey with grandpa, and it's just it's terrible.
I mean, that's a lot on top of you had this match, that he went home for the holidays, and then you had terrible. 72 grandkids. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Gazillion Beers, by the way, a fantastic Twitter follow and person that you can go follow there. But speaking of fantastic people, Scripps.
Yep.
This is just a question overall because I think you're pretty at home in NXT, and we'll probably be moving up to the main roster soon.
Oh yeah, I've proven all I need to prove.
I think so too. Between the boas and the moonsaults, I think you're covered. But just
that's right.
Entire industry wide, we're talking about NWA. I mean, do you have any like dream opponents both in and outside WWE?
Inside, what's Triple H, is he still around wrestling? I know he's in charge of the whole thing. Can I get him in the ring for a match? I never had a chance to get him in the ring for a match. Hey, I hear The Rock's coming back, so maybe The Rock will come. Maybe we could do something with Austin. He had a match last. I think Austin should come back to WrestleMania this year again, and he should wrestle me.
Fight Scripps.
He should come out of retirement 2 years in a row and fight me. It's like, remember that time where they said they blatantly lied and they said Cena Rock once in a lifetime, and then they did it again and they were like, yeah, we lied twice in a lifetime. Those liars. I can't stand liars almost as much as I can't stand politicians, except for me.
I mean, it did feel like it was a conspiracy theory the first time around. So there is that. But okay. Anybody at any other promotion interest you? Maybe Big Bill and you could get
Big Bill, Large Larry. He's working out of the Minnesota office up there. Huge Hugh. He's good. He's working out of the Alabama Fed. Let's see who else.
Huge Hugh, a rising star.
Huge Hugh and Large Larry. The Big Bill. Both basically, if you have an adjective that starts your name, and then your name is an alliteration of that adjective, and that adjective describes your size, I'm right there with you. Small Sammy. I mean, it doesn't have to be big or large or huge. It could be just describing your size, basically. That's all it is.
Sure.
Jumbo John, Jumbo John. Now he's great. He works out of the Pacific Northwest. He works up there in Vancouver. I gotta sort out my passport if I'm gonna wrestle Jumbo John. He works out of Vancouver. Massive Mark, he's good. Actually, I'll tell you what, a whole bunch of massive marks out there on Twitter. I'll tell you that much. Tall Tyler, he's really good. Tiny Tim's tough because he gets a lot of sympathy, and then he goes ahead and uses that crutch. I mean, everyone's cheering when the Tiny Tim uses that crutch on me. It's terrible. Rotunda, that's a good one. That's good. Giant Gonzalez, that's not quite as good, but thank you. Big McLarge Huge. Big McLarge Huge is one of the biggest men I've ever seen. He's like two haystacks Calhouns on top of each other. Big McLarge Huge. And Pipsqueak Paul, that's good. Mid-sized Manny, that's nice because he's just about 5'10" and 210 pounds. So he's a mid-sized guy, and that's about it.
What about Giant Jim?
Giant Jim's he's just giant. He's a very, very large guy. Average Andre, Big Mac. No, Omos does not qualify because even though he is large, he does not have an adjective that describes his size. Slim Shady. Well, yeah, Slim Shady's very good. I'll wrestle anybody there, So that's good.
Of course. Huge rising stars. Very specific prototype, but we love to see it in wrestling. So
that's right.
Looking forward to those dalliances.
There you go. Atlanta rapper Big Boy. I'm unfamiliar with his work, but I'll find anybody that's got Wide William, Brian the Behemoth. Now, see, if he changed his name to Oversize Omos, then I definitely would wrestle him. But it's good. Graham B said, have you made any friends backstage? Listen, you know what I say? There's no friends in this business. There's only acquaintances. Because back in my day, basically, you came to work drunk, you wrestled your match, you stabbed a guy, and then you left. That's basically what it was. It was not time to socialize,
Yeah, of course you weren't back there playing video games. Right?
No,
this was back when men were men.
I wouldn't even know. But I think back then we might have had the Atari 3000. Maybe it was it was early enough. We maybe had the Atari 1000. It was bad anyway.
Any interest in fighting Tyrus?
Tyrus, well, he's got to get an adjective in front of his name. I mean, what is he? Is he?
If he goes by Tall Tyrus,
Tall Tyrus or Titan Tyrus or whatever you want to do, it's fine. Obtuse, obtuse is probably good. That's good. Who did I stab? Wouldn't you like to know? Too many to count. Skyscraper Steve is great. That's good.
We already have the skyscraping Shanky, or we did at one point.
We did, but we don't anymore. He's gone. I don't know where he went. He just disappeared, didn't he? I mean,
He kind of did, yeah.
Monstrous Matthew, that's a good. Turgid Tyrus is great. That's good. Tubby Tyrus. I like both of them. Tons of funk. There you go. Slim Scripts. I'm definitely not slim anymore. But anyway, it's been good to hang out with you guys. But my wife is telling me I got to come in there and read some bedtime stories to the kids because they're acting up. So it's Grandpa to the rescue again. Anyway, I'll see you next week.
Any scoops before you leave? I have to ask.
No, scoops. Scoops. Listen, if we can just I don't know.
Conspiracy theories.
I mean, well, listen. I don't hold on now. You're putting me on the spot there. We talked last time about the round Mars because that was a big one. The other Kennedy assassination. Just a regular guy named Fred. But he got shot.
Oh,
it was terrible.
Oh, that's so sad.
Anyway, we got things we got to do. I got to be going. So regular size Rudy is great. It's the moon not made of green cheese.
What if it was made of barbecue spare ribs? Would you eat it?
That's no. Listen, you're spooking me over here. A different way over here. Hold on. What's going on over here? I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Thank you, Scripps. We appreciate you stopping by.
Finally, I'm back. What has been happening?
Where did you go, Scripps? You just missed Scripps again.
Again.
Destined to never beat. He told us all about future stars that he wants to fight, and most of them are descriptive adjective of their size and alliterative follow-up.
Like Jumbo John up in Vancouver.
Yeah. I didn't realize what a close beat you had on the Vancouver scene.
No, like I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I know all about Jumbo John.
Of course, yeah. Well, he's a what, 5th generation?
Yeah, at least. It's actually Jumbo John Jr. Because it's the Triple J. It's actually Junior. But you just got to keep on adding J's to it because it was his grandfather that I actually.
Oh no, he doesn't smash guitars, does he? Triple J.
Scripps Cyber Protection Home Security System. That's good.
That's very good.
That's good. I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's because you just walked back into this situation.
Ryan Ben says home run sponsorship, the Wendy Chu Snuggie.
Oh, that'd be so cozy.
That's good. ADDT Home Security. Protect your family. That's really good. ADDT Home Security. Ricardo Lodevi also says, help! I've fallen Henley and I can't get up. That's good. He also says, hell in a cell, Eno and Barnes. Hell in a shell, Eno and Barnes. There you go. Injury.
They split up, right?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's a horrible. I wonder who gets the house.
Who gets the jingle?
Yeah, Ponco Taco a la Rocco says lump beef broth. I get the reference, but I don't believe it actually works. I know you don't. It's fine.
Is it from The Simpsons?
It's not from The Simpsons. It's from Mystery Science Theater 3000, the best episode they ever did. I should get Paco Taco a la Rocco says, in the tune of J.G. Wentworth, call J.D. McDonuts, 877, don't Google me. And then he says, okay, that sucked. Sorry. It didn't suck. It didn't suck. Caden Cease said,
no need to apologize. That took it all.
Caden Cease made me angry last week with his fandom of Dominic Mysterio's acting. But now he's going to make you angry when he says this. Merry Xmas from your World Series champion, the Houston Astros.
Oh, good for you. You pulled one out against the second wild card of the NL.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, here we go. Oro Mensa. Oro Mensa came in. They decided to retroactively make his victory over somebody. Was it Grayson Waller? A trip into the ladder match, and he hasn't had a match since. Like his first match in NXT statesize was a regular match, and then later they were like, "Oh wait, Solo Sikoa can't be champion, so let's figure out a way to have a ladder match." Oh, all these matches were already taped. Let's say later that these matches were all qualifying matches for a ladder match, and they put Oro Mensa in it. He did a very good job in the match, and then nothing since then. And now people asking, "Where's Oro Mensa? Where's Oral Messiah?" Well, it turns out he's just hanging out in the club.
Good for him.
There you go.
He's good. I would like to see more of him.
Oh, yeah, let's see more of him besides being into club.
Yeah. The club can't even handle him right now. You know?
No, they can't. Lyra Valkyria defeated Lash Legend. I want you to tell the thing that was said by commentary that made you lose your mind.
I blacked out after. It was so good. He goes, she talk about Lash Legend, talk about her opponent, goes, she doesn't care about feathers. She doesn't care about culture.
Heritage, I believe, is what you tweeted me. Heritage. Yep.
Alex said as a sentence then.
Oh boy.
Instead of commentary. Completely sincerely. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it popped me so hard, but it did. She doesn't care about feathers. She doesn't care about heritage.
Lash Legend looks a lot better than she did 8 months ago.
Much better, yeah.
So that's good. She's actually making an improvement. That's good for her. And Lyra Valkyria took most of the offense, and then did a weird looking black mass thing, kick, and then her finisher is that she flies because she's a raven or something, and it was just
have feathers and heritage. It turns out.
How do I say this? Her finishing splash with her arms way out like she's flying, like Superman. It looks like a 9-year-old who's just so at swimming, jumping off the diving board at Grandma and Grandpa's pool. Like,
I was thinking like when you're a kid and you jump from bed to bed.
Like, but that too. But it's like, okay, my arms are out. I'm gonna lean forward and fall, and that's kind of what it looked like to me. Also, she does this. I don't know why she does. Is that a? It's like she's voguing. Like, I don't. It's a weird thing that she does that before she does anything important. So she did that. That's good. I'm happy that they're gonna do something with her. It looks like maybe for a time being. I don't know what to say about that.
I think. So her debut match was better, and her splash in her debut was a lot better.
Yeah.
Her splash in her debut, I thought, was actually really great. Today was a little weird, as you pointed out. It was almost like midair she wanted to try something else, like wanted to go for a different move.
Yeah.
But nice to see Lash Legend showing some marked improvement. She'd been off TV for a while, so if she was putting that work in, good for her. I really like what we saw out of her in her debut, and a lot of what we saw here tonight, though. Like, she definitely has something. This was another one where commentary was really, really rough. Booker kept being like, if Lash Legend can just stop hanging out with all those Hollywood types. Like, he said it so many times.
Yeah,
and I was like,
he did.
What? But this was perfectly suitable. It was nice to see. They at least seem like they're continuing with Lyra, so that's good. Like, someone's on a track to do something.
Yeah.
Her and Roxanne would probably be an awesome match. Set it up.
Yeah. Orion Ben 666 says, no hang time on your splash. Lyra needs Red Bull for wings. Kim Gray sent in something that says, hey, y'all, I had surgery today, so I really need to laugh, but not too hard to pop a stitch. What's the puns tonight? Old people stuff? Okay, so we've realized this, Kim. Most of the commercials now on NXT are just straight up infomercials for old people.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of things that might be outside? Buy lights. And it's basically that. And so, yeah, your wrestling version of wrestling old people in infomercials. I don't really know. People are sending them in, and they're funny.
Yeah, your NXT infomercials.
That's good. Meet Norma says, I got an air fryer for Xmas, so I can start the Jericho Dad Bod to Rock God cookbook. I also got WWE pajama pants, I suppose, for when I'm feeling gassy. The Linda isn't here, for those wondering. Oh, Meat. You're such a tease. I don't know if I believe you or not. Gigi and JJ are in the Toxic Lounge talking about how 2022 ended without mentioning Mandy Rose or showing any footage of her. So that
we're the most dominant stable. The two of us in the stable.
We're the most dominant women's faction in the history of NXT, and I think in the history of WWE. This faction was so dominant, led by the two of us and only us. Is a very odd thing to try and sell. It's a weird thing.
A two-person faction is a tag team, so it was. I get it though. Like there's circumstances. I guess they really have made Mandy persona non grata. I guess, and I if it's sponsor pressure from a kid sponsor, I kind of get that you would want it immediately pulled, but it makes for a weird. This is something that would have made, I think, for a better sit-down interview instead of a segment with like video clips in it, because I think Gigi and JJ could be good for that. Like if they just sat down, like, what's next for you guys, and they could speak to all those things. But when you splice footage in there, that's not the best. No. So that was a little weird, but
I did like that they're like, oh, so we're what's next for us is we're going after Roxanne Perez, who ruined us.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, actually that makes sense. Do you remember the
well, it doesn't make sense because we're gonna get Scripps and Roxanne at Vengeance Day. So why aren't we building to that?
After that.
Right.
Do you remember during the Black and Gold time, during Asuka's reign, when she was in a feud with both of the Iconics?
Yes.
Said, give me them both. And she had a straight up, like, basically handicap / triple threat match. Like, they could help each other win. And she beat them because she's Asuka. But it was actually a lot of fun. The match was fun. The feud was fun. I'm like, are they going to try and redo that? They're going to have Roxanne Perez defend her title against both members of Toxic Attraction. And is that how they break up Toxic Attraction?
I hope not. Because God, it's just, I say I hope not, but there's not really. They're kind of cobbling together.
Bring them to the main roster. Let them. Hey, you know what? It's canon. They're friends with Sonya Deville because Mandy Rose was.
That I thought that for sure. Like
Sonya Deville could be their new leader and a new faction on the main roster. Like
if you did that with Becky and the Celtics, that could be really fun. But they just have to straighten out what. Do they have a women's tag division and who's in it is something they desperately need to answer. I think calling up people from NXT is the perfect way to do that because there are some women that are ready there. Call up Indy Hartwell and do the way. Like there's so many ways that you can address that. It does look like we got this from Toxic Attraction tonight, so I guess they are going to do something with Roxanne. Like, are we looking at some beginning of the year call-ups? Are we looking at Rumble call-ups? Right. Like, I hope they have answers to those questions. Because it feels like, to me right now, it feels like they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel like they have any idea what they're doing, but it feels like they really missed the boat on what they could have done with Toxic Attraction as a faction. Toxic a faction. Toxic. Anyway, they could have done a lot of stuff with them on the main roster earlier, and
I kind of love that.
Violent Attraction's great. There you
with
go.
Sonya Deville.
Axel explodes onto the scene with a fantastic idea.
You know what would be really awesome, and they won't do it? Toxic Attraction goes up, Sonya Deville's their leader, and the three of them go after Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Could be really fun.
Could be fun.
And that's a really fun way to get to Sonya and Ronda. Mm-hmm. But I think they're doing Shayna and Ronda at Rumble, is my guess.
I don't know, man. It's so weird.
It is weird.
I don't want to talk about SmackDown. Ever. So Braun breaking, they're interviewing him. So, hey, last week you speared a dude wearing a Kevlar vest. How was that for you? I'm fine now, and I'm gonna do what he did last week. I'm going to the middle ring and I'm calling him to the ring. And Mackenzie's like, I don't know how to say this, but he's totally in Australia. So we happen to have a total huge video package to show you right in this very moment. And it's just him in a tourism package. Like, hey, look, there's the harbor. There's a bridge. It's the harbor bridge in Sydney. It's Sydney, Australia. It's the best place. Like, it's so weird that, like, his Australian accent is fairly thick in the States. But you can tell being back in Australia for just a few days really thickened it up. Like, all of a sudden, he was like you could barely understand some of the stuff he was saying. But he's like, oh, anyway, I go down to the beach, the Bondi Beach. I'm going to get in the water. There's a lot of great athletes here in Australia. And on the beach is Bro Breaker. When I get back next week, we're going to sign a contract. We're going Bob's your uncle. Different guy. So I thought this was fine, except it didn't make a lot of sense. Like, hey, cool, this guy's Australian, and like it's beautiful weather there. It's summer. Did you know that? It's summer in Australia. And so this is fine. But Braun is watching this video, and I don't know if he didn't know what the video was, because the whole thing's taped, right? So maybe he's watching something, and they told him, Braun, you're watching this video, so we want you to react to it. So react as though he's saying really terrible things about your mother. Like he's saying like all these horrible things that he's going to do to your mom. He was so angry at basically Grayson Waller praising the virtues of his home country. He was so furious. He's just clenching his fists and gritting his teeth because Grayson Waller is happy to be from a different country than this one. I'm so angry about him being confident enough in his own abilities that he's going to beat me next week. I have to take this TV and throw it into a bank of lockers for no reason. It was so weird.
It was so weird, too, because before this, we get a very quick thing with Braun that I actually liked. Like, it was very just chill and controlled and not, like, hyped up Braun of him backstage. And then we get Grayson Waller's Australian tourism package. And he did have things in there of, like, many Australian music legends have played at this venue, but no one as important as me has been there or whatever. Like he was doing like Grayson Waller-y things along the way.
But nothing like, specifically directed at Braun, and Braun was like, I'm going to murder this television because you appeared on it. He's just a little like, over the top.
It felt like he had this made me be like, I think Braun has anger issues, not like Grayson Waller had gotten so under his skin.
That's true. Yeah.
I was like, he needs to calm down. Relax. He's not even in the country. He's not on a different continent, Alex.
He's so far away. The Schism defeats Odyssey, Edris, and Malik. Luis says this new Schism is actually good. At what? Like it's like they've got all the ingredients. Joe Casey's really good, but the gimmick is still trash. GYV is still, if they let them just be GYV, one of the greatest tag teams on the planet. Jury's still out on Ava Rain. I don't know. I know she decided to like get in the face of Booker T, who at this point was doing nothing but saying good things about the Schism. And she gets in his face like 4 roots, 1 tree. I'm being weird and creepy at you.
She was
the announcer who's pro.
She was so all over Booker T, like upsettingly close to his face.
Right.
I'll say that it feels like there's more unification between all of them. Like they're all speaking from the same weird playbook. I just don't like the weird playbook that they're speaking from still. Like
it still doesn't make any sense.
It's like that thing. It was the same problem I had with Maximum Male Models where we've only rarely see it work when it translates to a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Like it feels really far out there. And then by the time they get to the ring, it's just like kind of falls flat for me.
Yeah.
Like the same way that they've unlocked something, and I know you still hate it, but I think they've done a better job fundamentally as a wrestling thing of making Chase University work. I don't think they've gotten to that part with this yet. So if you put the Rock's daughter in something, you're probably going to care about it a lot, though. So hopefully they do figure something out with it. But I don't know. I'm also I know people are sick of hearing me say it, but I am just like, so much spooky stuff, like it's just Isla Dawn and like
also they did the thing of like they had them come out in their weird little glow in the dark masks that have the 7 deadly sins written on them. Ooh, bunch of edgelords. Like it's just dumb. And then they stand by the ropes doing their little weird crooked 4 horsemen thing that they do, and or different signs, like they have different signs that are doing, but they're standing there for like 10 minutes because they come out, they go to commercial, they come back. It's the Braun Breaker gets really angry at Australian tourism video package backstage, and then they're still standing in the exact same spot, holding up their hands in the same way. I know it was pre-taped, but it was like,
yo, you know, when you're a kid and you raise your hand in school and the teacher doesn't call on you, so then you're like, and then you're like, that's like, how it seems like they must have been feeling.
Yeah.
I just need them to hone in on, because here's the thing: when you have characters that sincerely spook the hell out of you, they're some of the most powerful characters in wrestling. Right. Like when you feel like, oh my God, that guy might actually want to kill someone. That is a terrifying thing to have come to the ring. Mm-hmm. So if they can unlock that, that's really cool. But until then, it just reads like Party City to me. Like it, I don't know.
Odyssey Jones looked good until they had them just do suicide dives to him until he fell over.
It was weird.
It was odd. That was an odd choice.
But Odyssey Jones is so cool, man. I love that dude.
He is cool. He is cool. You know who else likes him? Booker T.
No way.
He got very excited about Odyssey Jones. Here is a direct quote from Booker T and Vic Joseph.
I know what it is because I clocked it too.
Ask me about the big man. What do you think about the big man? That's a big man. And that was the end of it. Like they didn't. Oh, sorry, it was big guy. Sorry, I ruined it. Ask me about the big guy. What do you think about the big guy?
What do you think about
Ryback? That's a big guy. And that was it. Was he trying to like be PG Rick Ross? Was that what he was trying to do? Because I didn't work quite as well.
Big fella.
It did not work quite as well.
That's very funny.
Yeah, that was very odd. But they do a double doomsday. Okay.
Always great.
One guy on each shoulder, one guy on each of the dyad's shoulders, and then Joe Gacy does a double thing, right? And then the only problem with that is that Edris Enofe has to immediately leap to his feet and stagger forward so he can get a handspring clothesline from Joe Gacy. Just pin the guys off the double doomsday device. Why are we making guys get up and walk into handspring lariats? This is just dumb.
No, it's kind of like when pile drivers don't finish matches where you're just like, all right, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, especially if it's the next move and he has to stand up under his own power after taking a doomsday device in order to take the move.
That's not a combination move at all.
No, that's not. This is my signature. It's a transitional move. Meet Norma says, "Is your granny in a coma? Call 1-800-REVIVAL. She'll be throwing up fists, not flips, in no time." Yeah, see?
You saw what Dax said today, right?
I did.
I'm a CM Punk mark. I can't help it.
Man, he burned a lot of bridges with a lot of people.
I know, but
I know, yeah. Carmelo Hayes and Trick's gonna fight Axiom next week, and says he's gonna send him to Comic-Con.
Sounds great. Probably make more money at Comic-Con than you can in an NXT taping.
That's true. Just call up Carmelo Hayes, leave Trick Williams here, and let him work on everything except for talking a mile a minute. Because he is a volume talker. You've heard about volume shooters in the NBA. He is a volume talker. He just talks a lot. And like, here's the thing: if you're throwing up 40 shots a game, like, and you hit 18 of them, that's not a good percentage, but that's a good amount of points. So if he misses on half of the things that he says, well, that's okay, because he says so many things. He's going to have a lot of hits. That's fine.
But when Melo don't miss,
Melo doesn't miss at all. So why are we feeding anybody else on the team? Why are you jacking up shots, Russ Westbrook? You got other people on your team who aren't throwing up bricks. Pass it to them.
The other thing is, I always hate using across the pond companies. Mm-hmm. But Eddie Kingston might be the best at this. And you guys know I'm a mark, so whatever. Eddie Kingston promos are great. Mm-hmm. Eddie Kingston's absence of words sometimes is some of the best work he does. My man redeemed these nuts. One line, didn't really need to say it. Or I think there was a more extended promo, but like, there's been times too where like they've been doing AW Rampage, perfect example. They do the main event setup, right, with Mark Henry, and he's just like, what are we talking for? Let's get in the ring. Like, sometimes that stuff is leaving space like that is so important, man. And it adds so much more weight to the things you do say because all of them are meaningful that way. And like, I don't know, there's something really cool about when someone goes to speak and then they just throw down the mic and start beating your ass or whatever. Like, those moments are so important too. So I just think it's really important that I'm not someone that looks for volume in promos. I'm someone that looks for don't miss.
Me too.
But it's developmental. We'll see where he goes.
Yeah. And Hayes versus Apollo Crews is next week. So each guy gets his own singles match. So hopefully, each guy won't be out there to ruin the matches for the other for everybody else who's watching.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes with no interference should be really great. I'm looking at you, Trick. Hoping that somehow something happens during his match, inevitably in the undercard, that won't have him out there.
Can you look at Trick like Ava Rain looked at Booker T today?
Hold on. I don't think I can get close enough to my laptop.
Looking at you, Trick.
There you go. Yes, and Eddie Kingston's did the Full Gear was in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Order the goddamn pay-per-view. So there was a just a train wreck of a story reaching hopefully its end tonight, but certainly not. Kiana James and Fallon Henley. There is one way that you end this match, and it's with Kiana James winning it. Sorry, that's the only thing that makes sense. If you have a thing where like there are consequences for each person, right? If they lose, then this happens. If they lose, then this happens. What you do in that situation, from a storytelling point of view, is you pick the version that has the most consequences, the most change, the most upheaval, the most storytelling avenues that can branch out of that thing, right? And this was just like, Fallon gets to keep the bar, and the Beach is kind of conflicted. Moving on. Like, it's basically going back to a month ago. Like the Kiana James getting control of the bar and Fallon Henley finding some way later to get the bar back. That's a story. Like Fallon Henley fighting and winning and getting to keep it in the first match is like, that's not a story. That's like a thing that happened and then ended. So whatever. The Beach was very conflicted because Kiana James bought him a shirt. And so he really wanted his girlfriend. I don't know. He's a virgin, and I don't know what his whole. It's his stick. He's a country bumpkin virgin. That's his gimmick. And so he's like, wait, who are you rooting for, Brooks? Her. What do you mean, her? But he obviously like jerked his head in the direction of Fallon Henley, and nobody else was in the room. So why are you assuming that her didn't mean you, Fallon Henley? This is very odd. All this is just bad. This entire storyline is bad. It could have been good. It's not good. It's bad.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I've been saying it's like a Hallmark movie, and it followed it too close to the letter, right? Like she just won and got to keep the bar. It's also just like, I know it's wrestling. I try not to get too in the weeds on things, but if someone put thousands of dollars up and there's a lien on your shit, a wrestling match doesn't negate that. Like,
no, I don't think they can go to the bank and be like, "Oh, I beat her. I pinned her shoulders."
Hey, I won this wrestling match. Can you remove the lien on my property? Is like,
and they're like,
I know
"Oh,
it's
yes,
wrestling.
certainly, it's right here."
Oh, well, legal disputes are always resolved in wrestling matches. So, and I know it's wrestling, and that's just me being nitpickish, but it was something. I think it was because they took the pause to make Kiana James look smart and say, "Why would I take this match? I already have the upper hand." And then they never explained the upper hand,
right?
So it almost made it worse because they pointed it out. Kind of leaves the rest of the story a little bit to be, not that it was the greatest to begin with, but like a lot to be desired there of like the alliances just don't, the questioning of the alliance to which woman doesn't matter here because Kiana won anyway, or Kiana lost anyway. She just gets to keep the bar. Like this should have
like there was a drop toe hold that led to the finish, and she may have twisted her ankle. And so the Beach was very, very upset and very concerned, but he wasn't allowed to go and check on his lady love because he was forced to celebrate with Fallon Henley by Double Vest. So like, so the story here is Brooks Jensen still thinks he's got a shot with Kiana James. And that's the story. That's it. Because everything else has been resolved. Everything else has been resolved. You could have him still think he's got a shot with Kiana James after Kiana James wins the match and gets the bar. And then there's all this other stuff that they could do. Also, it was really weird. Like, this entire match. Well, if you listen to the commentary, and believe me, I don't recommend you do this. But if you were listening to the commentary as I was, Booker T was talking about how it was life-changing money that they were going to get if Kiana James bought the bar. Maybe it would have been, I don't know, weeks ago during that part of the thing. Like, he's saying Fallon Henley should just lay down and let Kiana James pin her because then her grandkids will be taken care of. Like, I don't know how much he thinks a bar is going for, but it's not that kind of money, especially when there's a lien on the property. And he's like, no, just lay down and take it. Then therefore, like no, but also Vic Joseph, don't you understand? She made memories in that bar. They were just arguing with each other, just yelling at each other about whether or not Fallon Henley should let Kiana James pin her.
Like they were arguing over whether or not they understood the story. That's what I didn't like about it. And on top of that, like, this is what now that we're like talking through it, emotionally processing it.
Jim, yes, I want to say this. Yes, she's done enough in the ring to acquit herself that I now know. I'll call her by her actual name. This is what happens. Eventually, if you're good enough, I will give you your actual name. I will deign to call you by your given ring name and not the double vest in the beach. Haven't done it yet. Kiana James has. She's shown a lot of improvement.
As did the Creeds. The Yes Boys are great, but they'll just always be the Yes Boys.
Always.
And I will say, one vignette is all it takes to get me calling her porn accountant again. But when she's in the ring, we call her Kiana James.
That's true.
It's like we got all this evil masterminding and none of it paid off. Like, that's what we're getting at here. Is like we got all of these seeds planted, and now she just looks like a bad evil mastermind. Like, it's just like, oh, I didn't get to manipulate the dude to help me win. I didn't get the bar. Like, she laid all this groundwork and none of it pays off. So there's not like really a fun story there. Also, this is I just love us. Jim Wright. It's like, dang it, I'm late. My alma mater / employer had a bowl game, and I forgot it was Tuesday. Gotta watch the recap of the show I don't watch. And Orion Ben just jumping in, immediately catching him up to speed. Jim, the puns are NXT wrestling infomercials. You guys are just the best. You guys are the best.
I love it. I love it. King of the North has a great idea. That the Bede should put his virginity on the line for the rematch.
Oh, God. I won't allow that, because if they do that, they'll be like, we could do that with the women's wrestling. No.
Nope. The Amish electrician, which is a fantastic name, says that Kiana James's new finisher is called the reverse mortgage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's perfect for their target audience too.
Oh, I love it. That'll be an infomercial in no time.
Yeah. Hello, Kiana James here for reverse mortgages.
Oh, there's something I like about that girl.
No, it's like, yeah. Normally I was doing other reverse things, but now I'm into reverse mortgages. I used to be a porn accountant. Now I'm just a real estate lawyer. From reverse cowgirl to reverse mortgages. What? Ricardo the ODV says your AAOP rates will never change.
Oh, that's fair. I miss Authors of Pain.
Not AARP, but AAOP. There you go. Kim Grace reminding us, I had surgery today. Don't make me laugh too hard so I don't pop a stitch. Well, I don't want that.
Kim Grace, we hope you heal up well. You're always very lovely to us.
And Orion Ben 666 says, Grayson Waller is sponsored by Aussie Tourism. Good night. Roxy got interviewed. What did she say? Honestly, I don't remember.
Roxy, so they asked her, like, has it been a whirlwind? And she was like, NXT moves really fast around here. What else did she say? What else did she say? Because I actually kind of liked what she had to say.
I don't remember.
My internet cut out as I was trying to recall what she said. So that's perfect.
Okay. Okay.
What did she say? It was pretty good. Is it in my notes?
Louise she said she was going to do her best to honor the legacy of the NXT Women's Championship.
No, okay, now I remember. Thank you, because my notes confused the heck out of me. She kind of said that, like, everybody else, like a lot of those NXT women's title holders are first ballot Hall of Famers. And I really, really liked it because it made the NXT women's title feel important after a year plus of it being told that, hi, I'm hot, so I'm holding the title. But I really liked that. Like her saying, like, look at the people who came before me. Look at Asuka.
Yeah.
Look at Shayna
Yeah.
Baszler.
Mhm.
Like, look at all these badass women that held it. Was a good way to make it feel important, and I liked that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
good stuff.
Drew Gulak held an invitational for Hank Walker to watch him put dudes in submissions.
I didn't hate this.
I think it could have benefited by being taped and edited in a ring backstage with some interesting camera angles, maybe a little music. The live crowd didn't know what to make of it.
NXT Underground.
Yeah, but something I don't know. Like if we're thinking that it's going to be more like Catch Point, and he's going to be like maybe like they were doing some good stuff with Timothy Thatcher, doing this kind of stuff.
Yes,
it's just like it didn't lead anywhere. But like Gulak could do that. I honestly really loved like the way he was like, oh, so this guy's doesn't really know what he's doing. I'm gonna put him in a chicken wing. Here you go, chicken wing. He tapped out. All right. Hey, cool. An amateur wrestler. They always think they're better than they are. Oh, watch him take me down, and he's going to leave himself open. There, he did it, and now I'm tapping him out. I thought this was good and everything, but I was like, the crowd was like, so are you gonna have a match, or what's the deal with this? And it just kind of suffered from that because I think also Drew Gulak has had so many paint jobs in WWE. So like are you gonna be
levels of reboots?
Are you gonna be funny? Hey, we vaguely remember PowerPoint presentations. Are you gonna do that again, or what's the hey, when you were NXT when you were a cruiserweight champion, you were like having real matches. Are you gonna do that? Or hey, I remember vaguely when you were like Daniel Bryan's friend. Is that this, or what are we doing? I don't know what this is. And it was kind of like, it took a while for them to... Also, hey, Hank, thank you for coming to the Invitational. Stand over there and watch me do things to other people is a weird thing, especially for Hank, because even though the crowd likes Hank, who gives a shit about Hank? Like, what are you doing to make Hank... Like, there's a ironclad great story there of this guy who was an NXT security guard and then got a contract. And now it looks like he's still showing up to work every day as a security guard, and occasionally he gets to get in the ring. As opposed to now, no, you're not working security anymore. You're on the team. It's not like, remember do you ever see Rudy, when Rudy was like the equipment manager and then he made the team? He wasn't also still the equipment manager. You know, like he was on the team at that point.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's the perfect thing to draw. My only thing with that too is this, I feel like, is what you had kind of called for Chase University to be. And it kind of feels weird to have two wrestling universities, but not really wrestling universities going on. Yeah. I guess you can kind of justify that with one's the Invitational, right?
Right.
But I really liked the segment. I think it's kind of crazy that Drew Gulak could do what he was doing and narrate it at the same time. That was actually sincerely a pretty wild thing that he's able to do that. But I liked the idea where they were going, and we'll talk about, Dempsey coming out at the end, because sure does feel pretty Blackpool Combat Clubbish to me. I'll say that much.
It does.
But I don't hate that. Hank Walker
Hank Walker selling propane and propane accessories.
That's kind of like how he feels right now.
It does.
This isn't his fault. This was just the way they laid out the segment. He got a little over involved, I feel like. And I understand that part of that's the point, but it just didn't come off right. I liked the first one where Gulak had said, like, if someone taps out, you got to immediately let them go or whatever. And then when Gulak didn't do that, Hank Walker kind of corrected his behavior. That kind of tension should be building, but he did it again later, and it just didn't didn't really feel like it clicked in, which is, again, not his fault. I actually thought he did okay with what he was handed. I like this idea. I'm willing to see where it goes. But I think that, I don't know, this was one of the more fun things. it worked for me. I think Drew Gulak is great in the ring and a
I do
really
too.
wonderful wrestler. So
it's one of those things where I believe he's got a lot more than this in him. But if you said you have to pick one guy who's currently contracted as a performer to WWE to tomorrow start as the head trainer, it's Drew Gulak. I picked that guy.
Yeah.
That guy knows everything you need to know. He's obviously he's very easygoing and can roll with all the punches. And like we've seen, he does all this stuff. If he's gonna have to like be a guy who's laying out a match and helping people out, he can help him out with comedy. He can help him out with athletic stuff, with technical stuff. How to like tell a story within a match. And there's some really, really great stuff that they can do.
Extremely valuable. And I like the idea of it being an invitational too, because it feels like sincerely would want to attend that. Like I would want to be invited to Drew Gulak's teaching.
Minoru Suzuki and Bryan Danielson for Slap Chop.
That's excellent.
That's great. So yeah, Charlie Dempsey comes out and Drew Gulak is very upset. Well, it's an invitational, but I don't remember giving you an invitation. And Charlie Dempsey's like, I'm going to embarrass you in front of all your students next week. Okay, bye. So I'm ready for it. Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. It should be good. Actually, I think he said I'm going to embarrass your students next week. Maybe he's going to like run a gauntlet against all these like various.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd be so in on that. Yeah.
Might be good. Well, this is good. There you go. So apparently it is Walker versus Dempsey. Oh no. Well, didn't we already do that? I don't want to do that again. Just do another thing. Do a thing we haven't seen.
But that could be a nice program of like him going through 4 students or whatever to get to Drew Gulak would be awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from too. If we get to Charlie Dempsey versus Drew Gulak, I won't be mad. Put it that way.
Something to make me give a shit about Hank Walker. Do one thing.
Okay, but here's how good they are. All he has to do is change his shirt, and you're going to be immediately interested because you're going to be like, "Oh my god, he bought a new shirt."
The bar is so low. Change his shirt immediately.
All he needs is gear, and you're like, "I'm in on this guy."
I'm in on this guy.
Genius.
Very big guy. He is definitely. You know who he looks like a lot? He looks like Huge Hank.
He does look like Huge Hank.
Huge Hank.
He looks like
Large Larry.
You
Jumbo
were trying
John.
to cast Blake Shelton, but you couldn't get Blake Shelton, and you didn't have a very big budget.
Yeah. Here we go. Wes Lee defeated Tony D'Angelo.
I love this.
He did. This is a great match.
Yeah.
Great match. Tony D's got it, man. I don't know. They've seemed to have it seemed like he was in position after his feud with Santos to like jump up the card and maybe not be a title holder, but be like one of the top 3 most important guys on the roster, meaning like every week was going to run through him because he was going to make things happen. Like, hey, you go over here. I like you, but I'm going to put you in a match with this guy because I basically run things around here. I'm the Don of NXT. There is no actual authority figure, so I've decided to like take over in his stead. And so I decided I'm going to get a match with you and you. Hey, if you impress me, there might be something else for you down the line. Like that guy was like Tony D'Angelo was absolutely in the position to be that guy. And then he got hurt, and then it was like, and now he's back, and like, hey, I'm glad he's getting to wrestle because that's good. But
it did a title picture. I didn't feel like this was a condemnation of anything.
No. I just feel like he feels like a guy who's in the title picture for the mid-card title and won't be in a few weeks, if not already not, and then will we'll see what we do with him, as opposed to just being like I thought you were going to do a thing where like the dawn of NXT was like a guy who decides I'm running things here, and who's going to tell me no? You.
They also
No.
could have done that while he was injured. That would have been so fun if he just kind of like took over from
wouldn't that have been great?
Chair? Yeah, that would have been great.
like him with a very elaborate cast on his leg, with his leg up, and like some of the girls bringing him lemonade or whatever. Like it's like there could have been some really fun stuff, and they just didn't do it. But the match was great. I think he's really good. He's got everything you need. But I don't know
Both of them.
And also Wes Lee. Obviously, Wes Lee has a whole other thing. I will say this again. I don't like his finisher. I don't like anything you got to like. I stand right here and don't move so I can backflip my legs into your head. Is this that's a weird finisher to me.
Yeah.
It's a thing you can do in a match, but it's a weird thing to rely on to win a match for you. But of course, that didn't actually win the match for him, because he was getting his ass handed to him by Tony D'Angelo, until Tony D'Angelo is sitting on the top rope and Stax is there, and Donovan, whatever his name is, Dijak comes out and grabs him around the mouth and like carries him out of the ring, and Tony D goes, "No!" Like he's watching his child being carried away by wolves. It was just it was a weird. Okay. Dijak is obviously firmly in this title picture. It looks like D'Angelo wants a match probably with Dijak along the way, and Dijak will beat him.
That'll be great, though. That should be a great match.
It'll be a great match, but that'll be then 2 in a row for him, and then we'll see where he slides down the card, and that's what I don't want. I don't want that. I'd rather him be a more important guy. Listen, I'm still president of the Tony D'Angelo fan club, even though I don't talk as much in this accent as I used to.
No, he's great, and he's not only fundamentally sound, but he gets the storytelling aspect. I thought both of them did a great job with this main tonight in that regard. But do you remember? I know that the kids won't, but when we were kids, there was this game. I can't remember the name of it, but there were like these pieces, and they were kind of like vibrating, and then they would explode like off of the game board. I can't remember the name of it. But that's how NXT feels to me right now. Is like they've just been like vibrating at this pace, and it's gonna explode, and people are gonna go to the main roster, and people are gonna like, and they really need a clear idea for where a lot of these people end up, because Wes Lee still doesn't feel as important as he probably should holding that title. Like he won that from the most successful champion on your show next to Braun. Like,
is this
Grayson,
the name of it?
I think it was Perfection. Yeah. Thank you, chat, for helping me out and making me feel so young. But that game, that's how it feels like. It feels like they shouldn't have rebooted the Rainbow Era until they had these moments that I think are coming up. Like the call-ups that need to happen, that kind of stuff, because it doesn't feel like they turned over a new leaf. Tony D is a symptom, I think, of injury. And they really need to add a third guy in there. 2 doesn't work, or he needs to be alone. Like there's just a couple of things that need to be tweaked, and I think he can refine his footing really easily. But as far as like what he's capable of, him and Hook, man, they were like so meme over, and then they turned out to be really damn good. And I think that's awesome. Like that's so cool. But they do need to work on that piece of it, because I would even argue that like Grayson Waller should not feel more important than Wes Lee. But I think he's positioned to, even though he has significantly less wins, right? So just things like that. But as far as what we saw tonight, I think it's awesome. We talk about this, like clean finishes are just better. Like Wes Lee should have just beaten Tony D'Angelo. I think like there's a fun story going there. I don't think you needed Dijak to interfere. Not the most egregious interference. Like I hate that
it
a
was
lot
very
less,
funny
but
that like Tony D'Angelo. No.
And I hate it when stuff like that doesn't feel like it's a part of the match. It feels like it is stopping something that was really great in motion, and I really liked what was going on there. So, but a really strong match. They worked really well together. I thought something was clicking at the end of that episode for sure.
Yeah, Orion Ben 666 sent this earlier, and I didn't see it until now. Said, "Evening, SGS Society. I want to see Dom's lockup tape." Ha. I won't lie. My Christmas wish was for him to get stabbed in the chow line, just shivved right under the ribs, not killed, just right up on the ribs. Like have him go to the infirmary for a while. Think about what he's done. Well, that leads us right. Yeah, exactly. It's everybody.
You go in your room and you think about what you did.
Lord Kev says, Chris Jericho, spokesman for Scrub and Bubbly.
A little bit of the Scrub and Bubbly. I like it.
Tyrone Kidd says wants to hear "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus" by Dom.
Do you have it? Oh, you do have it, Dominic. That's right.
Listen, it's the same. It's always the one. There we go.
Before we dive in, please, last call for super chats and humper chats. Get those in right now. Please leave a thumbs up if you would be so kind on this video.
We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Oh, I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe last night. She didn't see me creep down the stairs to have a peep. She thought that I was tucked up in my bedroom fast asleep. Then I saw Mommy tickle Santa Claus underneath his beard so snowy white. Oh, what a laugh it would have been if Daddy had only seen Mommy kissing Santa Claus last night. Oh. Anyway, that's that.
Man.
Dom does sound more pathetic than that. It's true.
It is true. I also love that the chat that got sent in said, "Miss you, Linder."
It's true. Miss you, Linder. Yep, that's true. I hadn't finished it yet, but thank you. Orion Bed asks for "She Loves Me Not" by Papa Roach, as sung by Pawpaw Pulowski.
Ooh. Big Papa Roach fan, I hear. The Papa.
Papa. There we go. When I see her, I look into my eyes. Did I realize that she could see inside my head? And so I closed my eyes. I thinking that I could hide, disassociate, so I don't have to lose my head. Is this situation leads to agitation? Well, it's been a long time since I've had to do this voice. Hey, will she cut me off? Would this be an amputation?
This does not sound like Popolowski.
I listen. I it's been a long time. So I got a frog in my throat.
What?
I've lost it. I don't even remember what Pop West sounds like.
I just it hurts my heart to have him mixed up with Dom Mysterio.
It's wrong. It's all entirely wrong. I don't remember what he sounds like. I don't have an in. I don't have like a thing where like if I think of the way that sounds, that's it. Oh, here we go. There we go. I don't know if I care. I'm the jerk. No, life's not fair. Fighting all the time. This is out of line. She loves me not. Loves me not. No, realize I won't compromise. She loves me not. Loves me not. Over the past 55 years, I've shed my tears. I have drank my beers and My fears fly away, and until this day, she swings my way. It is hard to say. Sometimes she says she loves me not, but I hesitate to tell her that I hate this relationship. I want out today. This is over. I don't know if I care. I'm the jerk. Life's not fair. Fighting all the time. This is out of line. She loves me not. Loves me not. Do you realize I won't compromise? She loves me not. Loves me not. Life's not fair. I'm the jerk. What?
There he is.
I found him. It was hard.
He came back. We lost Linda and her glasses. We lost Paul Popolowski.
Oh my God, he lost. Paul Popolowski lost his voice.
He did. He lost his smile and his voice.
He lost his voice. Nathan Frazier does the Taste of Ink by the Used. Man, I'd like to lose this guy's voice. Also,
Too bad, pal.
Also requests by Orion Ben. There we go. Is it worth it? Can you even hear me? Standing with your spotlight on me? Not enough to feed the hungry. I'm tired and have felt for a while now. In this sea of lonely, the taste of ink is getting old. It's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. Each day gets more and more like the last day. Still, I can see it coming. Now I'm standing in the river drowning. This could be my chance to break out. This could be my chance to say goodbye. At last, it's finally over. Couldn't take this town much longer. Being off dead wasn't what I planned to be. Now I'm ready to be free. And Bob's your uncle.
See, Nathan never goes anywhere. You don't like him, but he's always here with us.
I know it's true. You know what it is? It's this. I don't know what he sounds like until I do this. Now I know what he sounds like.
It's the best part.
Graham B says Tony D selling real estate for the docks on TV. Hey, come on down to the docks and put down your relation. We're selling condos from the high 300s. There you go. Tom LaValle wants Axiom to sing I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General from by Gilbert and Sullivan from the Pirates of Penzance. Here we go. Let's see if I can get through all of it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Thank you very much.
You sounded a little bit like the Swedish Chef at one point. Good stuff.
That's true. Jim Wright says Pop Popolowski lost his smile watching Shawn Michaels NXT booking. And the story comes full circle. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody so much for the puns. We'll be doing different puns next week. We'll have to think of how it'll work out, but something easier, I think.
Yeah, it'll be New Year's-ish. It'll be like resolution.
But like no.
Oh, I'm sorry. New Year's is January 10th.
New Year's is January 10th. As we all know, the countdown to the new year does not begin until January 10th.
There it is.
So I don't want to see a stitch of Happy New Year clothing or references from you next week. We're saving all that till January 10th. So I got to go to Party City sometime between now and
we
Sunday.
can get it on a discount.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't trust them. Like they'll be gone out the door. They'll ship it back to wherever. So I'm worried about it. So I'm gonna have to go and get something between now and Sunday, and then keep it on ice for like 10 days, and then bring it out. That's it. Anyway, thank you everybody. I appreciate it. Hey, in like 15 minutes, come over to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be streaming about an hour of Red Dead Redemption 2 before I hit the sack. We're trying to do these more often for a shorter amount of time and see if that works out for people. But it is a lot of fun. People seem to enjoy it. Kate shows up occasionally in the chat and is fun. Hey, you know what?
Micah.
He's not in the picture anymore. We're done with him. We've moved on. Now it's all about unrequited love, Kate. I think it's more up your
Aw.
alley. Tonight's is really it's all about unrequited love. I think you'll like it a lot. But anyway, please come over there in about 15 minutes, and we'll do that as well.
And
Alex
if you want to
Sauergrab-
see someone dunk on NWA, go to my
Yep.
Twitter.
Yes, that's true. Do that as well. Yeah.
Me too. They just make it really easy sometimes. But you can follow me at Miss Kate Faith on Twitter.
Mhm.
I also have a Patreon under the same name. In the new year, maybe even before the new year, because I might start it before January 10th.
Ooh.
Paid tiers coming to the Patreon with value in them instead of people just paying me because they're nice. So very much looking forward to doing that as well. And as always, Kate Instagram's on Instagram. If you want to see pictures of my super cute dog who found out that she can get into the treats when I'm not home. So those will be moving. I came home. They're in like this bin. I come home and there's just bags of them ripped open. And she's just like, I still haven't heard her make a single sound. Just shit-eating grin on her face.
Wonderful.
The best.
You can follow me at Alex Sauergraps on the Twitter and also on the YouTube. Do that, and we'll see you in over there. So have fun,
Get it.
everybody. Keep cool, gabagools.